Today's interview is with the one and only Vinney Chopra. Phenomenal interview for you guys today. So make sure you watch all of it. But Vinney came to the US with $7 in his pocket from India to go to university, started door knocking, selling books, then got into single family rentals, then got into multifamily, still is in multifamily, has built a huge portfolio of 4,000 units now, has transitioned a little bit into assisted living facilities, building brand new ones, buying hotels, written books, coaches, mindset genius. So this is a brilliant interview. Make sure you stick around for all of this. Hello and welcome to Wrestling with Real Estate, where we look to chokeslam all your real estate problems. I'm your host, former WWE wrestler and now Cirque du Soleil performer, and of course, multifamily real estate investor, Barri Griffiths. Now today we're joined by the one and only Vinney Chopra. How are you doing, sir? How's it going today?
I'm doing great, Barry. It's such a pleasure to hang out with you, and it's been such a pleasure. Looks like we've known each other through Instagram, and I'm so fortunate that you invited me on your show.
Yes. I'm lucky to have you, and I think I met my match today. Usually people tell me, oh, you're so energetic, you have blah, 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 but I think you've got me today. I don't think I can keep up with you. I think you've got more energy than me, so it's gonna be a fun one, no doubt about that. So I'm excited to dive into everything that we're gonna do today. But before we do so, do you want to kind of give us an introduction into Mr. Vinney Chopra and what you've been up to?
Yes, little bit. You know, I'm from India originally. I grew up in New Delhi, India. Moti Bagh is the place, humble beginnings. We are 6 brothers, sisters. We lived in 1-bedroom apartment. We never had any, well, we were happy, but we didn't have a refrigerator or a television or a telephone or anything like that. And we never missed it, by the way. You know, we would walk and take the public transportation. I always wanted to be an engineer. I became mechanical engineer, worked for a very big corporation in Bombay, Reliance Group, which is #1 company in India right now. Then I came here with $7 in my pocket and then went to school to do my MBA in marketing. I thought mechanical engineer and marketing will be a great combination to earn a good living. But then I sold Bible books and encyclopedias and door to door, just to pay for my tuition in the college, which is George Washington University, private school I went to. But that what converted me. I learned so much about mindset and rejection and attitude control and working hard, like 80 hours a week, 6 days a week we would work from morning till night and everything. So that's my humble beginnings. Got married 41 years back and moved to the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area from Ohio. And I was a motivational speaker, a presenter, a fundraiser, we could say, in my career. Then I retired, multi-millionaire from there as a senior stockholder. But then on the sideline, I also was investing in real estate in single family homes, which I just figured out that's not going to catch me where I want to scale up, right? So 16 years back to the date, I became broker. I'm a California broker active, but I didn't want to buy or sell properties. But the world of syndication hit my nerves. I said, oh my gosh, OPM, other people's money. There is so much money all around. So how can I scale up? That's when I got myself educated. A lot of money I spent. And now, I wrote a book, top seller, positivity and all that. But that's how I got going. And we live in the San Francisco Bay Area with the grace of God in a nice country club, Black Hawk here now. Yeah.
What an amazing story. What a very cool and amazing story. I was wondering, you mentioned there, you retired, right, once, and you had, plenty of money to live with at that point. I'm guessing you didn't, it wasn't that you had that burning ambition to leave a job. That's what I hear over and over, that people have a burning ambition to leave their job and to create that financial freedom. You were at that point. What was it, you think? Was it that humble beginnings that you mentioned in India that was burning inside for you to create more, that brought you to real estate and that made you restart another career, essentially?
That is so very true, Barry. You're 100% right. My whole thinking is that, one has to stimulate their mind, right? I think a lot of people, when they say, by the way, I'm 68, I'll be 69 in a couple of months, I'll be 70 next year. I'm looking forward to be 98. I mean, my goal is to be really, really very active individual and giving money, time, energy, charities, everything, and helping our senior population, which we'll talk about, and also helping in education of the whole field of multifamily around across the world, not just in USA. But all those things, you're right. I mean, I have always felt it that people decay. When we say, I'm retired, what do you do with your time? I mean, you could do a lot of other things in hobbies and all, but it's good to stimulate few hours of the day and then put people in right places. Like we have 5 companies now, but I have so much free time. I play bridge online for 1.5 hours every day, and I am able to compartmentalize things. But you're right. Yeah, I enjoy the passion of getting up in the morning at 4:35, doing the miracle morning, the gratitude, the exercise. I want to be, and eating right. My wife for 41 years, she cooks so well, all those things. So it's the idea that I have found a passion right now in my second life, and that is now totally going to be taking me till I go heavenly aboard, right? So I'll be there and leaving legacy behind with, real estate is my passion, just totally, and raising money is my bigger passion. Like we are setting goals now for this decade to be purchasing and developing from scratch $2 billion in assisted living and senior assisted living and memory care, which is a tall goal, but I never take back. I just feel like, this mind is only can achieve if you think and you believe and you conceive, then the manifestation happens.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And we'll get to the assisted living stuff in a second. That's really interesting to me. But obviously you started out in single family, then developed into multifamily, and you build a large portfolio, right? Give us an idea of the multifamily holdings that you have.
We used to have lots of single family homes. We sold them all. I still own, my wife and I own a duplex. We started with a duplex and then 14 units for $180,000. And then we kept on buying more and more and more and more and more. We have about 4,600 units under our management, vertically integrated. Our peak staff was 134 team members full time, and full accounting department. We had 4 full-time people, then HR, then everything, payroll, then a VP of operation, we were investor relations, and all that good stuff, right? But then now we have bought from like 14 units for 180,000. The biggest purchase we did was $52 million, one apartment complex, 324 units. And during COVID, we just purchased 34,750,000 in Austin, Texas, 308 units. So we are making big acquisitions because our investor base has started. I had 0 investor, right? When I started, it went from 1 investor to 400 investors.
Wow.
They just kept on telling more people and more people and more people. Because if you're transparent, if you're really open like a book and you're doing things professionally, then the investors, passive investors, we call them, they tell more friends and more friends. And then like our top investor has 3.8 million with us into different deals we have done. And we have doubled, quadrupled, monies like crazy, giving best of the IRRs and all. And we just started actually this week. We're starting a $15 million fund. Wow. There is one fund, Moneil. It's a 506c fund, so I can talk about it because it's not with the pre-existing relationship. So people can invest with me. We'll be doing advertising. It's a diverse fund. where we'll be buying stabilized multifamilies. We'll be doing ground ups of multifamily. We'll be doing ground ups of the assisted senior living. We'll talk and buying assisted senior livings and hospitality. We bought a Hilton Garden Inn, just before COVID. We are looking into Marriott courtyards and comfort inns through receivership because we have some very good contacts. That's what I believe in. I believe in having the right people around you in the teams of different companies and places. Like I'm also in the ground stage of a very big startup company called Cloud Defense. I would love to say Anshu Bansal, who is the founder and principal, along with we have 6 billionaires on our board now, billionaires. And this is catching like fire. Cloud Defense, they say another. I also like to invest in stock market and other places, but this VC virtual, VC venture capitalist, I'm also a small portion of that into different companies and all that. I like just keep myself stimulated. I study a lot, I read a lot, I listen a lot, just to keep myself focused.
I'm amazed that you have any time in the day, even to sleep. You say that you play bridge, but seems like you're a very busy guy, but that's amazing. And that's very cool. You said that you guys have just started up a fund. Why transition from before you guys were just raising on a per deal basis, right? But now it's on a like you said, a 50 million fund.
Yeah, Barry, you're so right about it. I've done 34 syndications so far, which is very exciting. But then we feel that a lot of my investors have so much money. We are also selling and returning, like we just returned $7 million last week and this week back. So my investors are knocking on the door. They're saying, Vinney, where to put this money now? So that's when we conceived, let's do a 506B fund and a C fund where we can keep on bringing money and have the cash ready so that you can make better deals. You can be in a cash position to get a much better loan terms. You can even do bigger down payments. You could do hard money. When I do hard money, I do from my own personal finances. Like some properties we bought, I gave $500,000 hard the day of signing the contract. And if I don't purchase that, I lose my $500,000. So that becomes a bigger game, right? This little boy who came with $7 now dealing those things. But the thing is, there is so much competition right now in good emerging markets, Barry. So you have to pull your muscle so that you can give your track record, which is very strong. We can qualify for $80 to $100 million loans now, just myself alone. But the good part is you are able to provide this great fund where our investors' money is diversified. When it's tied to one asset, if the asset does good, then the returns come to the investors. If the asset does bad, then the syndicator says, sorry, we won't be able to give you the cash flow, right? Or things didn't happen. In the diversified fund, some of the, not so good or like ground ups, for example. That was one reason too, because ground ups bring no cash for about a year because we are developing, we are going through the, building stage, then leasing stage, things like that. So in the fund, we'll be purchasing already established multifamily, first of all, which will bring cash to us, into the fund. Then we'll be doing ground up constructions also, which will bring cash in about 2 years, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Then hospitality also, as we purchase, when we have down payment ready, it will be easy to make some good deals because a lot of hotels will be coming in receivership. And we know the people in Hilton and Marriott. So we like to kind of be in touch with them. Like we bought Hilton Garden Inn for $6 million just before COVID, December of 2019. It's worth till 11 million right now. Because we got lucky. The hotel was chosen by the medical staff last year to stay in our hotel. So we lucked out, even though I was ready to pay the mortgage and everything from my own money. And my partners, who we own together. But that way, Long answer, but diversification into a fund gives preservation of capital for the investors. They could sleep well at night, and then also some properties will be more cash flowing than others. Some will be able to refinance and bring cash into the fund that way, to refi or do supplemental loans or do some value adds. So it's just a mixture of 4 or 5 things we'll be doing it, which will make it very, very attractive for our investors.
Yeah, it seems like it's very beneficial for your investors, and
Yes.
with a combination of all those different type of asset classes and investment niches, it's good for everyone, I think. But now you said that now you've changed your focus a little bit more into assisted living facilities, right? Why is that?
I would love to, Barry. See, I've been chasing and jobs for 14 years, right? I mean, every emerging market, if I took my investors' money, I made sure there are 3 employers, strong employers, and then more people are coming, more Starbucks are being built, and the Best Buys and Walmarts, like I was taught, in learning emerging markets, and I've done pretty good. But then the demographical shift is happening right now. The XYZ and the millennials are 74 or 76 million of them. Then baby boomers are turning 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every night in USA. So many seniors are getting into the stream, and they're downsizing, and they're liking to live in the senior communities. So I'm a senior myself. I don't know if I think I mentioned I'm 68. I'll be 69 in August, 70 next year. So I just have a great something I want to do in my life is to really bring great returns to my senior friends and colleagues and population in USA, around the world, and then also provide accommodation for them to live in these beautiful communities. We build like 5 to 7 acres of land. We take raw land, and I will explain why. We don't take existing facilities and try to convert them. We just feel like that just doesn't do it, because in our luxury communities we have movie theaters, we have salon, we have spas, we have putting greens, we have swing pools, we have waterfalls and fountains, and then we have a library, we have 5 dining halls with chandeliers and all, grand piano plays, then we have meeting rooms all around the complex, only for 92 residents. We take 7 acres of land, and with courtyards, we want 1 story only, not 2 story, not 3 story, no elevators. And we want our seniors to have the best of the best life, because that's their golden years. So our motto is, let's spoil the generation that has spoiled us. And that is the main reason why we build it from scratch. So that's why I'm shifting now. My focus is into diversified fund, like I said, but now I'm chasing retired communities. I'm not chasing the jobs. And this is the best of the best multifamily, because they have already made their money. The retired seniors are now looking to really have a good camaraderie with the residents, much different than a workforce where they are totally consumed in, going to the job and coming home, taking care of family, then going to job again. In these communities, there is a lifestyle, there are these exercises, and there are these entertainments, and we have our own transportation. We have it at all our Hampton Manor facilities, where we could take them to different places, all like that. But then we want them to go outside and like put some vegetable garden and flower gardens, and to be really out there in the open. That's why we don't like 2 story, 3 story, because seniors, then they only go for lunch, dinner, and breakfast, but then you're looking around from the window all day long, to the outside and all that. So we want them to be really active and be really responsive and just enjoy their life. So that's why our average stay of our seniors, by the way, in the assisted living and also memory care, we have a portion of our building is memory care also, so that our residents can go if they get into Alzheimer or need like that, they could go right there. And then also the second thing is there is zero delinquency in this multifamily class. There are no concessions. It's need driven. Average stays about 26 to 34 months. So it's a month to month lease, but we really vet our seniors because they don't want to move. Once they come into our communities of Hampton Manor is the brand, luxury at affordable price, we call it, because we charge only $4,400 to $5,500 for 3 meals cooked to order. So we have chefs, we have sous chefs, all that, and they cook to order meals, 3 meals and snacks for our residents every day. Then we have nurse, then we have 50 to 55 caregivers in our facilities because we are vertically integrated. So all the team members are all on our payroll. So they are representing us, to the finest place. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. Can I move in? I'm 39. Do I qualify? I want to move in. I'll move in. It sounds amazing. You said there though that with multifamily you were tired of chasing jobs and you're analyzing markets and trying to see what the next emerging market was. When you analyze a market for assisted living facilities, what do you look for as opposed to jobs, job growth, job diversity?
Perfect. Very valid question, Barry. Essentially, now we are looking at the demographical shifts where the retirees, the age population of 65, 70, and 75 and 80, where they are going to. So through statistical data, we are able to pinpoint the communities like in Florida. We are big in Florida now. 8 locations we are building there. Virginia's, right? Michigan, our partner is from Lansing, Michigan. So he built like 14 different locations, every town over there. But now we are going to Texas and Missouri and Arizona, then California, then Washington. So we'll be all over the USA in this decade. That's what our premium goal is. $2 billion, construction and acquisitions. And I know it's going to happen because it all starts in the mind, right? If you achieve, you believe, your subconscious keeps on hearing it every day. And every time when you're talking to everybody, then subconscious doesn't know good from the bad. It just keeps on performing, what you tell it to. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so true. Yeah, so true. You can trick your brain into believing so much stuff. And when you trick it, it becomes reality, right? And that's where you
Sure. And I want to really give you kudos. You have done so well in your career. And I want to really say that. And, mindset and everything, what you have been able to do is spectacular. And kudos to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But thank you. I appreciate you saying that, especially coming from you. All you've achieved. I've done nothing compared to you, but I appreciate you saying that. But assisted living facilities, I'm sure a lot of people listening, it sounds amazing and it makes a lot of sense to everybody. But it's not always that easy, right? There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, right? What are some stuff that people should realize that needs to be taken care of and stuff that can go wrong with assisted living facilities?
Totally. I'm so glad you're saying that. Definitely, the assisted senior livings are state regulated. I want to mention that. Acute cares, nursing homes, and rehab centers are federally mandated and licensing and everything. So we really didn't want to be in the nursing homes and all that because it's a whole new business there. It's just real estate, but also doctors, nurses, equipment. We are only in the middle section. We are not in the 55 plus communities or senior living either, like condos and things like that. I just wanted to clarify. But the big thing is we are in the sweet spot of assisted living, independent assisted living, and memory care. That's where we are. And the key thing is we want to make sure where we are going to be building Or even if you're purchasing one where there is an existing location that somebody wants to sell, please look at the building permits in the city officials' books. How many people might be bringing more units in that market? That is the number one thing. Like when we start from ground A to ground, let's say it takes us 2 years to open the doors, because it takes us 6 to 9 months just to do the feasibility studies and the capture rate and everything. And then we purchase the land on a 6 month closing. Then we go through ordinance changes. And then we go get all the permits from the building department, architectural drawings, and all that. So it's a little bit drawn out process, but it's well worth the final result, right? Because since we have done it for so many years now, right? So it's very easy for us. But anybody doing it, please get a consultant, assisted living consultant, and there are out there to get their feedback, right? And then maybe reach out to us. We would love to guide you. But the key thing is, we believe that if you want to build it from scratch with the nicest community amenities, which the millennials want for their parents, see, that's what is happening. So their thinking is getting even bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why the older, the assisted living residential, quite a few of them are, but they are old, and some, not all, but some are smell and things like that. But we should be looking at making sure that you're able to put money into them to make them modern, right? To be able to give all the facilities that you can provide in that particular, like for example, like 14 unit home or things like that may not be able to provide what 92 units for us over 5 to 7 acres can provide, right? But there are a lot of other great operators who are trying to do it like we are. I think ours is only in the assisted living, but I have known some other very big REITs and others. They are doing it more in the independent living also, along with all the way to the right side. We just do it in the middle.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great answer. Because it's important that people realize this, right? That it sounds great and it's not easy, it's doable, but you need to take precautions when you're doing these type of things.
Totally.
What are the big differences between multifamily and assisted living facilities? There is there much differences, or is there difference in hold periods? Is there difference in returns, or what are the bigger differences?
Surely. Very good question again, Barry. I would say, conventional and, multifamily, we say, that is where the job market governs, right? And then you can increase the rents if you got a C plus or B minus. You could do value add, right? And then you can provide amenities and then increase the rents. We find within the assisted senior living, you can't increase as much rent, especially in our case, because we build them from scratch. So they are A plus buildings already. Comparison to my other properties I bought, which are like B or B minus properties, the deferred maintenance is still there. In our assisted senior living communities, deferred maintenance is zero. Brand new appliances, brand new roofs, brand new, all the equipment, I mean, everything. So that's where we make the savings as compared to conventional, already built older properties. Deferred maintenance is there that we are able to put capex and all. Also the resident leaves, the turnover rate is faster in the conventional side, but in the assisted senior living, they don't want to move. We are looking at age of 75 or 85 or 90 years of age. Once they get into the assisted living, they like the people around them and everybody, they become friends. So it's a whole community kind of thing, and they get to know their caregiver and the love and respect and everything. They get to know the chef and they, first name basis, and they enjoy the meals that they like. And also we do provide our facilities of spa and salon, because the seniors might be, using their own barber or beauty salon from the neighborhood. So we let them come into the facility. We don't charge any money at all, and then they just pay them 10, 12, $15 or whatever directly for the service. So the continuity has to be there, and then their children, grandchildren can visit. Now in the COVID, we were able to do the plexiglass and secluded things and all, but they can come and have private dining, lunch and dinners with their family, with their mom and dad, or grandpa and grandma, or celebrate birthdays, things like that. So I think that's where the difference comes. That now the senior assisted living, if you are a good operator, you have to, because expenses are higher, because you have so big a staff as compared to only 4 people on the conventional side, right? The leasing agent, the assistant manager, if possible, and the community manager and lead maintenance and the porter, we call it. 4 people probably on the right side. But in the assisted senior living, we have a staff of 60 people, 60. So if we do it correctly, assisted senior living can actually perform better than the conventional, by the way. The reason is, for the rent for unit on the right side, conventional might be $1,100 or $1,300 per month. But in the assisted senior living, because it's boarding and lodging and everything, caregiving, it's 4,500 to 55. So it's like 4 times the rent that you're getting on the first of the month, majority of the time. So 98% of our rent comes right on the first of the month. We never have to struggle. So that is the big thing. And then having executive directors, which we hire the best in the industry. And we are also building Hampton Manors close by. So like 17 miles apart. So we can have the same executive director over 2 facilities, have economies of scale. So that way we are really savvy in that. And also transportation, like we did in Cape Coral, Florida, and Punta Gorda, just 21 miles. We already are building there. Then we are going to Sebastian and Palm Bay. We're building close by again, about 17 miles apart or something. So that way we are able to really, do the marketing together, kind of do the economies of scale, in multi-family.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I love what you're doing with assisted living facilities and providing these elderly people with such a great place to live. I was supremely close with my grandparents, and my granddad was in a home, and the care there this was back in the UK, he had great care. And I think it's so important that they get this, because it's easy to forget that these people are people, right? They're getting to the later stages of their life, and it's important that they get the care and love that they deserve at that age. So I really appreciate that you guys are doing such a great job with that. It's something that
thank you so much. You reminded me about my grandpa. I would love to say I've never mentioned it in the last many years. I respect my grandpa so much. My grandma and grandpa had so much influence on me. Actually, my parents didn't want me to come to USA, by the way. That's the real truth. They liked it afterwards. My grandpa paid for the air ticket to come here into USA. I mean, he was the pivotal person, him and my uncle. I pay gratitude to him in Maryland, who sponsored me to come and got me admission into George Washington University. And I remember he paid $1,500 for my tuition. And then he told me later on, Vinney, I didn't know where next 15 will come, but I knew that I wanted to bring you here so that, you could really excel or whatever. But, that's why I did the book selling and everything, because in my mind, I didn't want to be a burden on anybody, and that's what makes a big difference in our life. When we cut the rope, when we just burn the bridge, we call it, right? And then we say, you know what, there is only one option, and that's moving forward. We just accomplish so much in life, so much in life. Many of us get so bogged down with the past and the negatives and everything, why it cannot be possible, why and everything. Then the mind subconscious only knows nothing from the good or the bad. It only knows what you're telling your mind to, which is all negative, 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 negative. Then more negative comes into our life, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so true. That's so true. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's. I love everything that you stand for. It's brilliant. This has been a fantastic interview. I appreciate you making the time because I know for sure that you're busy. So I really appreciate that. But this is the part. This is the part of the show where I like to incorporate some wrestling related real estate questions. And the first question is, what would your wrestling name be?
My wrestling name. Oh my gosh, I smile a lot. So maybe Smiley Wrestler.
I like Mr. Smiles. That's a good sound.
Smiley Wrestler.
Brilliant. Well, every wrestler has a special move. What is your special move in real estate?
I would say the reason I've been so successful has been that I've done the best underwritings. And I'm very conservative investor, by the way, very conservative, but I pounce upon the deal. I mean, when I find out that this is the deal I want, I don't do anything. And I've closed on all 34 deals over the last 14 years from letter of intent to final closing, 100% record. So just like your straight record, I'm a small guy, with 100% record, bouncing the deal.
Don't mess with the Smiley Wrestler, that's for sure. What's been the biggest body slam you've taken, you think?
Mistakes, you said? Yeah.
Or a setback or something that went wrong. Yeah. Body slam.
I am full of it. I mean, I could write a whole book. I wrote this book on the apartment syndication, but I was telling my team I could write a whole book, since we are vertically integrated, right? So I have been dealing with lots and lots spectrums from A to Z, from the contractors, from the brokers, from the investor sides, and my team members, their morals, and people suing, and people not doing their things, and all the things, and then this hacking, the cyber hacking, but nothing really puts me down. I mean, I am the kind of guy, shake it up and say, okay, what's next? There is a solution out there and let's get it. So lots of ups and downs have happened in due diligence, wrong foundation problems, sewer problems, you name it. Utilities got cut off because of certain reasons, but there is always a solution. Yeah.
I love that. That's a positive to turn around. You can get knocked down as many times as you want, but all that matters is that you get back up, right? And that's the important part. That's brilliant. So was there a moment that you were standing on the top rope, getting ready to jump, but you were too scared? What was it and how did you overcome it?
Oh, wow. That's so glad you said it. I know a lot of people, even in my academy also, Barry, a lot of people are just shy to get that jump, right? Me too. I had the fear, but I overcame fear by education. I just immersed myself and paid my mentors and coaches lots of money, over 100,000. Actually, I took my team to, for the things to learn. But then after we were able to really do the good underwriting and get the basic knowledge, action cures fear. I always have felt that. So if you have a good parachute in the back, I'll jump on it, and that's what it happened. My 14 units that I bought for 180,000. I mean, that was just getting with the parachute and going into it. And then the same Friday, actually, we closed on 109 units. We were working on both of those deals simultaneously. And that's how it is. I would say taking action. The only thing that can really take care of fear is just making sure you get the best of a lot of people, I find people say, I want to analyze. I say, analyze will paralyze ourselves. You just write down all the positives and then look at one or two negatives. If the positives are this big, jump into it. Get that fall from the top of the 57th floor. No.
Fantastic. That's a great answer. Yeah, action cures fear, right? Just take action and figure it out from there. Perfect. Well, Vinney, thank you for coming here today and sharing your amazing story from coming over from India, getting your grandfather and your uncle to pay for your flight and your tuition, to selling books door to door to then buying your own first 14 unit for 180,000. I don't know if you can buy much for 180,000 these days.
Yes.
So then building a huge portfolio of multifamily syndicated deals, to now assisted living, to hotels, to writing books, to everything that you have going on, to coaching and everything. So I appreciate you taking the time here to share that story today. But before we go, can you let people know where they can find out more, how they can get in touch, and everything else that you have to offer, your podcast, your books, and everything?
Sure, Barry. I would love to. As a matter of fact, I would love to your audience send a free book. It's vcfreebook.com, VC for Vinney Chopra. And my website is also vinneychopra.com, V as in Victor, INNEY CHOPRA, like Deepak Chopra. We are not relatives, but last name is the same, vinneychopra.com. But for free book, please just go to vcfreebook.com. And we would love to, I put a lot of materials in the YouTube channel, in the Instagram, YouTube. I'm in LinkedIn and Facebook pages. Anything I can do for anybody, please reach out to me and my team. I'm here to serve. That's the main thing. I'm here.
Well, perfect. Well, thanks for having a high energy and plenty of smiles and plenty of great content during today's interview. I really appreciate it. But have an amazing rest of your day out there in San Francisco.
Thank you, Barry. God bless you. And thank you so much. I'm very much looking forward to having you on my podcast very soon too. Thanks a bunch. Have a great one. Bye-bye.